teens are texting more than ever before. Text messaging is now the primary form of communication among teenagers. That's according to a new report from the Pew Research Center. On average, 12 to 17-year-olds sent out 60 text messages a day in 2011. I think that's probably the low end. 63% of teens say they text every day, while only 39% say they use their smartphones to make daily phone calls. All of this texting is convenient, but are kids these days missing out on something? What do you think about all of this texting, parents? Are you hip to this new trend, and are you able to keep up with your kids?
All right, as you said earlier, we're all parents here. Mine are only 7, and you guys have teenagers.
Yep. Right.
Derek, what is it like in your house?
I have a 16-year-old who loves to text, and for us, what we do, and we have a very open relationship, we look at his texts at the end of each day. So we will look at what he's texted either the night before, the day before, and he's pretty good about it. But at times where we think it's getting out of hand, texting can get way out of hand. I mean, there were times where I felt like I was having better communication with him just because we were texting, and it shouldn't be that way. It's put down the phone, let's talk.
Okay, Coach and Papa Craig.
We could have texted this whole show, right? We should do that.
But your son, you said falls
I have an
asleep.
18-year-old, who's just actually committed to Dixie State to play football next fall.
Hey,
Yes,
congratulations.
he falls asleep with the phone in his hand. I mean,
My daughter does that as well. She's 18.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you wake up in the morning, the phones are on the bed.
Oh, goodness. Really? I don't even want to start. I don't even want to think about this yet. Oh, my goodness.
But you know what? I have to admit, I'm a big texter myself.
I am too.
And I think she's made me one, because if I really want to get a hold of her quickly, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But do you think that we're losing something? Are we losing the communication?
I do.
I mean, we're not talking. We're not socializing. Kids are very, to me, kind of sterile now. They don't have that ability to communicate with a lot of folks.
We do need to communicate face-to-face more, and you also have to have parameters on the texting. At a certain time at night, you cut it off, and you have those rules in your house. When you're driving, no texting.
Absolutely.
And I'm a hypocrite, because I'll be texting at a stoplight, or even as I'm driving, my kid will go, "You told me I can't." Yeah, you're right.
Who else
Going back to the old Starbucks hot chocolate.
Doggone it. I would never do that.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. We do have to be parents first, and you have to remember to put limits on it. Here's what you guys are saying on Facebook. A lot of you sounding off. Sid Bowdish says, "I guess it is easy for this generation. However, I wonder how well they will be able to communicate in social situations face to face. How do you really know what your teenager is doing and feeling if you are texting and not listening and seeing them?"
Angela Parker writes in saying, "It's better than getting radiation to the brain, so it's fine by me."
Oh my goodness. Carrie Kingsley Mayan says, "I rarely talk on the phone now, and I am a texting grandma."
And Val Mendoza Tablo writes, "Texting is so impersonal. It's not an acceptable form of communication for me. I don't mind them texting their friends, but if it's something important, I want to make sure my kids make an actual phone call."
LOL.
Yep. I text too daily because we have to. I mean, in our jobs we have to. But I much prefer face-to-face conversation. You can see facial expressions. You can feel emotion. I prefer that.
That nonverbal communication is completely lost with text messaging.
Absolutely.
And I prefer to text Craig rather than see him.
And you do lose that. That's a very good point, though. You do. Sometimes you'll send something, and maybe you didn't mean to be malicious, but the person who read it felt like, wow, he's upset with me.
It's the way it's read,
so you're missing out that.
Absolutely.
You don't have the tone of voice. You don't have the eye contact.
Yes.
All righty. We can't wait to get your take on this. Talk about parents' behavior.